25,000 samurai march west. Drums echo across the morning mist. Banners flutter in the hot June air. Their commander sits confident in his silk tent, already counting the silver from Kyoto's treasury. Then thunder rolls. Rain hammers down. When it stops, most of them are dead. How does a nobody with 3,000 men crush the most powerful army in Japan? What happens when you bet everything on 20 minutes of chaos? June 12, 1560, Imagawa Yoshimoto controls 3 provinces, Suruga, Totomi, Mikawa. His territory stretches across the Tokaido Road like a massive roadblock between eastern Japan and the capital, 42 years old. Called the greatest archer on the Tokaido. Alliance with Takeda Shingen through marriage. Peace treaty with Hojo Ujiyasu sealed by his son's wedding. 25,000 men answer his call. The largest army Japan has seen in decades. Target, Kyoto. Mission, overthrow the crumbling Ashikaga shogunate. Method, march straight through Owari province and its 27-year-old lord, Oda Nobunaga. Problem, Nobunaga refuses to step aside. If you value documented samurai history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Stephen Turnbull's Battles of the Samurai, published by Arms and Armor Press, and detailed battlefield archaeology from the Okehazama Battlefield Preservation Society's peer-reviewed excavations, published in the Journal of Japanese Military History, 2024. These aren't Wikipedia summaries, these are the receipts that academic researchers stake their careers on. Now back to the information. Nobunaga holds one province, Owari, recently unified after years of family warfare. Half his own retainers called him the Great Fool of Owari for his bizarre behavior as a youth, running wild with commoners, ignoring protocol, throwing incense powder at his father's funeral altar while wearing no formal dress. Smart strategy or genuine madness? His enemies bet on madness. May 19th, 1560, lunar calendar, dawn breaks, Matsudaira Motoyasu. The future, Tokugawa Ieyasu strikes Maroon Fortress. 10 in the morning, fortress falls. Commander Sakuma Morishige dies fighting. Washizu Fortress suffers the same fate. Eastern defenses collapse. Imagawa forces pour into Owari like water through a broken dam. Yoshimoto sets up camp at Dengaku-Hazama, narrow valley, wooded gorge, perfect for rest and celebration. 300 of his best men surround his red command tent. Victory sake flows. Heads of dead Oda commanders displayed on spears. The road to Kyoto lies open. Scouts race to Kiyosu Castle. Report reaches Nobunaga around noon. His generals gather for war council. Advice, retreat to the castle, wait for siege, hope for reinforcements that will never come. Nobunaga's response, only a strong offensive policy could make up for the superior numbers of the enemy. He can field maybe 3,000 men, 1/8 of Yoshimoto's strength. Mathematics suggests surrender. History suggests death. Nobunaga suggests attack. Early morning? June 12, Nobunaga dresses for battle, recites passage from the song Atsumori. Man has but 50 years, and life is but a dream. Rice porridge consumed standing, no time to sit, armor donned, war fan raised, route, Kiyosu Castle to Atsuta Shrine, prayer for victory. Single tachi sword offered to the gods. March continues to Zenshoji Temple, fortified position, perfect for deception. Nobunaga orders hundreds of banners erected around Zenshoji, dummy army, false flag operation. Imagawa scouts report massive Oda presence at the temple. Yoshimoto's attention focuses there. Real strike force moves through back roads. Geography matters. This terrain served as Nobunaga's playground during falcon hunts. Every hill, every ravine, every forest path mapped in his mind. What looks like wilderness to Imagawa forces represents home field advantage to Oda samurai. 2,000 elite troops slip through wooded hills. Circular route north. Target, Dengaku-Hazama Gorge. Timeline, narrow window before Yoshimoto breaks camp. Stakes, survival of the Oda clan. Early afternoon, temperature soars. Hot June day. Imagawa warriors remove armor, seek shade under trees. Celebration continues. Victory seems certain. Kyoto awaits, then clouds gather. Thunderstorm strikes with supernatural timing. Rain hammers down in sheets. Lightning splits the sky. Thunder masks the sound of approaching feet. Imagawa forces huddle under trees for protection. Nobunaga's men creep closer through the downpour. Storm breaks. Clouds roll away. Sunlight returns. Yoshimoto emerges from his tent to quiet what he assumes is drunken revelry among his own troops. Instead, he sees Oda war fans, enemy armor, attacking samurai barely 50 yards away. Chaos erupts. 300 Imagawa guards caught completely unprepared, no armor. Weapons scattered. Formation broken. Oda forces pour into the narrow valley like water through a funnel. No room to maneuver. No space to organize defense. Yoshimoto draws his sword. 42 years of warrior training kick in. Morishinsuke attacks with a spear. Yoshimoto cuts through the spear shaft. Blade bites into Mori's knee. Blood flows. First, Oda attacker falls. Second, samurai charges. Hattori Koheda. Spear thrust, aimed at Yoshimoto's chest. The great archer deflects the point. Steel on steel. Sparks fly. Moment of balance. Then, Hattori grapples close. Short blade finds its mark. Imagawa Yoshimoto's head falls. Duration of main assault, 20 minutes. Imagawa casualties, over 2,500. Senior officers killed, all but 2. Remaining forces, scattered or surrendered. Oda losses, minimal. Victory, total. Matsudaira. Motoyasu watches his liege lord die. Calculation follows grief. Return to Mikawa province. Occupy ancestral castle at Okazaki. Switch sides. Ally with the victor. Future secured. Aftermath reshapes Japan. Imagawa clan power shattered. Territory divided among neighbors. Takeda Shingen seizes eastern provinces. Oda Nobunaga gains prestige. Minor warlords pledge loyalty. Resource flow increases. Key ally acquired. Former enemy Matsudaira. Motoyasu changes name to Tokugawa Ieyasu. Alliance lasts until Nobunaga's death 22 years later. Foundation of future unification laid in 20 minutes of chaos. Recognition follows. Nobunaga notices sandal-bearer Kinoshita Tokichiro for bravery during battle. Future name, Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Second great unifier identified. Talent spotted in crisis. Strategic implications multiply. Route to Kyoto opened. March on capital begins 8 years later. Ashikaga Yoshiaki installed as puppet shogun 1568. Real power flows to Oda hands. Unification process accelerated. Territory acquisition accelerates. Within months, Nobunaga absorbs eastern Owari. Former Imagawa fortresses surrender without siege. Commanders switch allegiance. Silver flows into Oda coffers. Military expansion funds secured. New campaigns planned immediately. Diplomatic revolution unfolds. Takeda Shingen moves east into former Imagawa lands. Grabs Suruga province. No resistance offered. Hojo forces seize coastal territories. Vultures descend on Carcass. Alliance system collapses overnight. Power vacuum filled rapidly. Intelligence networks expand. Oda spies penetrate enemy territories. Information becomes weapon. Trade routes monitored constantly. Merchant reports analyzed. Religious temples provide cover. Knowledge gathering systematized for first time. Technological integration begins. Captured Imagawa weapons studied. European firearms examined. Portuguese matchlocks acquired. Training programs established. Manufacturing attempted. Innovation through reverse engineering. Military modernization priority. Castle design evolves rapidly. Stone foundations replace wood. Artillery positions planned. European star fort concepts studied. Defensive architecture revolutionized. Azuchi Castle construction begins. Symbol of power projected. Engineering excellence demonstrated. Economic warfare deployed systematically. Trade embargoes imposed. Merchant privileges withdrawn. Market access restricted. Financial pressure applied constantly. Commercial warfare precedes military action. Resources strangled before battles fought. Victory through economic strangulation. Religious policy shifts dramatically. Buddhist temple power challenged. Warrior monks confronted. Mount Hiei burned 1571. 10,000 killed. Religious authority subordinated. Secular power supreme. Traditional order overturned completely. If you value documented samurai history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This content represents hundreds of hours of research using primary sources and battlefield archaeology to separate fact from legend in one of history's most famous surprise attacks. Military innovation demonstrated, weather as tactical weapon, terrain knowledge decisive, psychological warfare effective, deception operations successful, speed over strength, audacity over caution, lessons learned by future generations, naval warfare preparations begin, coastal fortifications planned, shipbuilding programs initiated, trade protection organized, maritime power projected, sea routes controlled, island fortress strategies developed, naval supremacy sought actively, administrative revolution launched, bureaucratic systems established, tax collection modernized, census operations conducted, land surveys completed, population registered, resource mapping finished, state capacity multiplied exponentially, cultural transformation accelerates, court ceremonies modified, dress codes changed, architecture styles shifted, artistic patronage redirected, literary themes evolved, musical forms adapted, Social customs transformed gradually, marriage alliances restructured, political unions arranged strategically, hostage exchanges managed, diplomatic relations formalized, treaty obligations clarified, international protocols established, foreign policy systematized, regional stability sought, agricultural productivity increases, new crops introduced, farming techniques improved, irrigation systems expanded, land reclamation projects launched, rural infrastructure developed, food security enhanced, population growth supported effectively. Mining operations expanded rapidly, gold extraction increased, silver production doubled, copper mining intensified, iron ore processing improved, precious metals, fund warfare, resource extraction industrialized, wealth accumulation accelerated significantly, transportation networks developed, road construction projects launched, bridge building programs initiated, river navigation improved, mountain passes secured, communication systems established, information flow accelerated, economic integration enhanced systematically. Yoshimoto's mistakes cascade: overconfidence in numbers, poor camp security, predictable celebration, inadequate scouting, divided attention, single point of failure, death of commander collapses entire structure. Command structure analysis reveals fatal flaws. Senior officers concentrated around Yoshimoto, no backup command posts established. Communication systems primitive, chain of command unclear under pressure, decision-making bottlenecked, tactical flexibility impossible. Modern armies avoid these errors. Intelligence failures multiply. Scout reports incomplete. Enemy strength underestimated. Terrain advantages ignored. Weather patterns disregarded. Local population sympathies misjudged. Information processing inadequate. Strategic surprise achieved completely. Logistics breakdown compounds. Disaster. Supply lines overextended. Ammunition stocks insufficient. Medical support absent. Evacuation plans non-existent. Equipment maintenance poor. Sustaining operations impossible. Victory dependent on quick resolution. Training deficiencies exposed brutally. Individual combat skills excellent. Unit coordination poor. Combined arms tactics absent. Siege warfare expertise limited. Naval operations primitive. Military engineering backwards. Professional development needed desperately. Communication problems magnify chaos. Orders transmitted slowly. Situation reports delayed. Coordination attempts failed. Language barriers present. Technical terminology unclear. Information reliability questionable. Command control breakdown inevitable. Morale factors prove decisive. Overconfidence breeds carelessness. Victory celebration premature. Guard duties neglected. Vigilance relaxed fatally. Discipline loosened dangerously. Professional standards abandoned. Psychological preparation inadequate completely. Leadership succession unclear. Deputy commanders absent. Authority delegation incomplete. Responsibility distribution vague. Decision-making protocols missing. Crisis management procedures non-existent. Organizational resilience minimal. Institutional knowledge lost instantly. Nobunaga's advantages maximize. Local knowledge. Veteran scouts. Aggressive tactics. Unified command. Desperate motivation. Nothing to lose mindset. Everything to gain opportunity. Strategic planning reveals superior preparation. Multiple contingency plans developed. Escape routes identified. Rally points designated. Supply caches positioned. Medical stations prepared. Equipment reserves allocated. Professional staff work demonstrated. Tactical execution proves flawless. Timing perfectly coordinated. Unit movements synchronized. Attack angles optimized. Fire support integrated. Reserve forces positioned. Exploitation planned thoroughly. Military professionalism displayed completely. Intelligence operations superior throughout. Human sources cultivated. Technical reconnaissance conducted. Pattern analysis completed. Vulnerability assessment accurate. Target identification precise. Operational security maintained. Information advantage decisive. Leadership qualities demonstrated repeatedly. Personal courage shown. Decision-making rapid. Risk assessment accurate. Resource allocation optimal. Subordinate development emphasized. Mission focus maintained. Command presence projected effectively. Innovation embraces change enthusiastically. New tactics tested. Foreign weapons adopted. Enemy methods studied. Technology integrated rapidly. Organizational structures modified. Training programs updated. Adaptability prioritized consistently. Cultural understanding exploits weaknesses. Enemy psychology analyzed. Social structures studied. Religious beliefs considered. Political motivations understood. Economic pressures recognized. Diplomatic opportunities identified. Comprehensive analysis conducted systematically. Operational security maintained surprise. Deception operations successful. False intelligence planted. Enemy expectations manipulated. Real intentions concealed, timing carefully controlled, information leakage prevented, strategic surprise achieved completely. Economics drive politics. Imagawa wealth estimated at 500,000 koku annual rice production. Oda holdings barely 100,000 koku. Victory transfers resources, power balance shifts, investment in future campaigns secured. Financial analysis reveals massive disparity. Imagawa annual revenues dwarf Oda income. Tax collection systems sophisticated. Trade monopolies established. Mining operations profitable. Commercial networks extensive. Banking relationships secure. Economic foundation solid, apparently. Resource distribution shows clear imbalance. Manpower availability heavily favors Imagawa. Equipment quality generally superior. Supply systems well developed. Manufacturing capacity greater. Transportation infrastructure better. Communication networks advanced. Material advantages overwhelming seemingly. Market control demonstrates economic power. Tokaido road tolls collected. Port facility revenues captured. Merchant guild fees imposed. Manufacturing licenses granted. Trade route security provided. Commercial dispute resolution offered. Economic influence projected systematically. Agricultural production indicates territorial value. Rice yields per province calculated. Crop diversification strategies implemented. Surplus grain marketed profitably. Famine reserves maintained adequately. Population carrying capacity estimated. Food security ensured consistently. Agricultural wealth accumulated steadily. Labor force management shows organizational sophistication. Peasant obligations clearly defined. Artisan guilds carefully regulated. Merchant activities closely monitored. Military service requirements specified. Corvée labor systematically extracted. Population mobility controlled. Human resources maximized efficiently. Technology transfer reveals information flow. Chinese innovations adopted. Korean techniques studied. European methods examined. Indigenous developments encouraged. Research programs funded. Educational institutions supported. Knowledge networks maintained actively. Capital accumulation demonstrates financial strength. Gold reserves carefully hoarded. Silver stocks systematically acquired. Copper supplies secured reliably. Iron resources controlled completely. Precious stones collected avidly. Luxury goods imported regularly. Wealth displays projected powerfully. Cultural impact enormous. Songs composed. Stories told. Legends born. Okehazama becomes synonym for impossible victory. David versus Goliath narrative. Inspiration for underdogs across centuries. Literary traditions emerge rapidly. War tales written by court scribes. Poetry collections commissioned. Historical chronicles compiled. Eyewitness accounts recorded. Heroic ballads composed. Folk songs spread. Cultural memory preserved systematically. Artistic representation flourishes immediately. Woodblock prints created. Scroll paintings commissioned. Armor displays arranged. Weapon collections exhibited. Memorial sculptures carved. Battle screens painted. Visual documentation extensive. Musical compositions celebrate victory. Court musicians compose battle songs. Temple bells commemorate dates. Military marches developed. Victory chants created. Ceremonial music written. Performance traditions established. Auditory memory reinforced consistently. Theatrical adaptations multiply quickly. No plays written. Puppet shows staged. Kabuki performances developed. Street theater presentations. Festival reenactments organized. Dramatic interpretations varied. Entertainment value maximized effectively. Educational materials disseminated widely. Military academies study tactics. Temple schools teach history. Merchant schools analyze economics. Samurai families preserve stories. Oral traditions maintained. Written records kept. Knowledge transmission organized. Religious interpretations proliferate extensively. Divine intervention claimed. Heavenly support acknowledged. Sacred timing recognized. Supernatural assistance credited. Buddhist karma discussed. Shinto blessings invoked. Spiritual significance emphasized continuously. Regional variations developed naturally. Local heroes celebrated. Provincial perspectives emphasized. Geographic details highlighted. Family connections promoted. Economic impacts stressed. Cultural meanings adapted. Community identity reinforced. Archaeological evidence confirms chronicles. Battlefield excavations reveal weapon fragments. Arrowheads found in precise locations. Helmet pieces buried in valley soil. Human remains match historical accounts. Science validates stories. Excavation techniques employ modern methods. Ground-penetrating radar maps, subsurface. Metal detectors locate artifacts. Soil analysis identifies battle traces. Carbon dating confirms chronology. DNA testing verifies identities. Scientific methodology applied rigorously. Artifact analysis reveals battle details. Spear points show specific damage. Sword fragments indicate combat patterns. Arrowheads demonstrate trajectory angles. Helmet dents suggest impact forces. Armor pieces reveal defensive positions. Physical evidence corroborates written accounts. Forensic investigation uncovers truth. Skeletal remains show trauma patterns. Wound analysis indicates weapon types. Bone density suggests age ranges. Dental examination identifies individuals. Isotope testing reveals geographic origins. Medical examination confirms historical descriptions. Material culture studies enhance understanding. Pottery shards indicate camp locations. Cooking utensils suggest meal preparation. Personal items reveal daily life. Religious objects show spiritual practices. Trade goods demonstrate economic connections. Cultural artifacts illuminate social structures. Environmental archaeology provides context. Pollen samples indicate vegetation. Climate data suggests weather patterns. Geological surveys map terrain changes. Hydrological studies trace water sources. Botanical analysis identifies plant species. Ecological reconstruction creates historical landscape. Dating methodologies ensure accuracy. Radiocarbon testing confirms time frames. Thermoluminescence dates ceramics. Dendrochronology provides tree ring data. Archaeomagnetism determines magnetic signatures. Stratigraphic analysis sequences deposits. Multiple techniques cross-validate findings. Conservation efforts preserve discoveries. Artifact stabilization prevents decay. Climate-controlled storage maintains integrity. Digital documentation creates records. Three-dimensional scanning captures details. Chemical analysis identifies compositions. Professional curation ensures long-term preservation. Modern analysis reveals truth. Weather records show thunderstorm probability high for June 12. Topographical surveys confirm narrow valley advantage. Soil studies indicate rapid water drainage. Military engineering explains tactical success. Meteorological reconstruction provides insights. Historical weather patterns analyzed. Seasonal storm data compiled. Atmospheric pressure readings estimated. Temperature fluctuation ranges calculated. Precipitation probability assessed. Climatic conditions reconstructed accurately. Geological surveys map battlefield terrain. Elevation changes measured precisely. Slope gradients calculated exactly. Drainage patterns traced completely. Soil composition analyzed thoroughly. Rock formations identified specifically. Topographical advantages quantified mathematically. Hydrological studies trace water movement. Stream flow patterns mapped. Floodplain boundaries identified. Water table levels determined. Drainage efficiency calculated. Stormwater management assessed. Natural water features documented comprehensively. Engineering analysis explains tactical choices. Sight lines calculated geometrically. Movement corridors identified strategically. Defensive positions evaluated systematically. Attack routes optimized mathematically. Terrain advantages quantified precisely. Military engineering principles applied retroactively. Geographic information systems create models. Digital elevation maps generated. Satellite imagery analyzed. Historical cartography digitized. Spatial relationships calculated. Distance measurements verified. Geographic analysis computerized extensively. Remote sensing reveals hidden features. Aerial photography identifies structures. Infrared imaging detects anomalies. Ground-penetrating radar maps subsurface. Magnetic surveys locate metal objects. Electrical resistivity measures soil density. Non-invasive investigation techniques employed. Computer modeling simulates battle. Troop movement patterns calculated. Tactical scenarios tested. Outcome probabilities assessed. Alternative strategies evaluated. Historical accuracy verified. Mathematical analysis validates traditional accounts. Alternative outcomes considered. Imagawa. Victory leads to earlier unification under different dynasty. Kyoto falls to Eastern forces. Ashikaga shogunate replaced sooner. Christianity perhaps welcomed. History pivots on 20 minutes. Scenario analysis explores possibilities. Yoshimoto reaches Kyoto successfully. Ashikaga shogun displaced rapidly. Eastern coalition government established. Different unification timeline accelerated. Alternative political structures developed. Historical trajectory altered fundamentally. Economic implications multiply exponentially. Trade route control shifts eastward. Portuguese relations develop differently. Chinese commerce patterns change. Regional economic integration occurs earlier. Different financial systems emerge. Commercial development follows alternative paths. Social transformation accelerates uniquely. Warrior class evolution modified. Peasant conditions change differently. Merchant status develops alternatively. Religious influence shifts dramatically. Cultural synthesis proceeds uniquely. Class structure transforms distinctly. Technological development diverges significantly. European influence increases earlier. Firearms adoption accelerates rapidly. Castle architecture evolves differently. Naval technology advances alternatively. Manufacturing processes develop uniquely. Innovation patterns change fundamentally. International relations reshape completely. Portuguese alliance strengthens considerably. Spanish contact develops differently. Dutch relations form alternatively. English interaction changes significantly. Chinese diplomacy evolves uniquely. Regional power balance shifts dramatically. Religious policy transforms radically. Buddhist influence increases significantly. Christian acceptance grows earlier. Shinto practices evolve differently. Religious tolerance develops alternatively. Spiritual authority strengthens considerably. Theological synthesis occurs uniquely. Political structures develop alternatively. Central authority emerges earlier. Provincial autonomy decreases rapidly. Administrative systems develop differently. Legal frameworks evolve alternatively. Governmental institutions form uniquely. Power distribution changes fundamentally. International context matters. Portuguese traders arrive 1543. Firearms technology spreading. Castle design evolving. Naval warfare emerging. Japan opening to outside world. Regional conflicts gain global implications. European expansion reaches Asia. Portuguese establish Macau base. Spanish control Philippines completely. Dutch build trading empire. English explore eastern routes. French consider Asian ventures. European competition intensifies dramatically. Technological transfer accelerates rapidly. Firearm manufacturing techniques shared. Metallurgy knowledge exchanged. Navigation methods transmitted. Cartography skills distributed. Engineering principles communicated. Scientific knowledge flows freely. Religious missions expand systematically. Jesuit priests arrive regularly. Christian converts increase steadily. Church construction begins. Educational institutions established. Medical services provided. Cultural exchange develops. Commercial relationships deepen significantly. Trade volumes increase exponentially. Profit margins expand considerably. Market access improves dramatically. Product variety multiplies extensively. Economic integration accelerates rapidly. Wealth accumulation grows substantially. Diplomatic protocols established formally. Embassy exchanges organized. Treaty negotiations conducted. Trade agreements negotiated. Territorial boundaries defined. Conflict resolution mechanisms established. International law develops gradually. Cultural synthesis begins tentatively. European ideas examined cautiously. Asian traditions maintained carefully. Knowledge systems compared thoughtfully. Educational methods evaluated critically. Artistic styles influenced mutually. Intellectual exchange proceeds selectively. Global competition affects Japan. European powers seek advantage. Regional alliances form. Economic pressure increases. Military threats develop. Strategic positioning required. International awareness grows significantly. Technological factors influence battle. Matchlock arquebus still rare. Sword and spear combat dominant. Mounted archery standard. Individual combat skills decisive. Mass formation tactics secondary. Personal valor paramount. Social structure revealed. Samurai loyalty conditional. Victory attracts followers. Defeat abandons leaders. Honor codes flexible under pressure. Survival instincts override abstract principles. Pragmatism defeats ideology. Religious dimensions explored. Buddhist temples provide fortress functions. Shinto shrines offer divine protection. Christian influences beginning. Supernatural explanations accepted. Divine wind concept reinforced. Sacred and secular intertwined. Geographic analysis deepens understanding. Tokaido Road, strategic corridor. Eastern provinces, resource base. Central highlands, natural barrier. Western approach to Kyoto, critical. Control points determine power. Transportation equals domination. Personality profiles matter. Yoshimoto, cultured, diplomatic, confident. Poetry and politics combined. Classical education valued. Aristocratic bearing maintained. Underestimates rough opponent. Dies surprised. Nobunaga, unpredictable, aggressive, innovative. Commoner friendships cultivated. Protocol ignored deliberately. Reputation as fool maintained strategically. Enemies deceived consistently. Victory through misdirection. Leadership lessons extracted. Know your terrain intimately. Use weather tactically. Deceive through misdirection. Strike at critical moments. Maintain operational security. Exploit enemy weaknesses. Adapt quickly to changing conditions. Political consequences multiply. 3 unifiers emerge from chaos. Nobunaga begins conquest. Hideyoshi continues work. Ieyasu completes task. 250 years of peace follow. Tokugawa, shogunate established. Economic transformation accelerates. Merchant class rises. Castle towns develop. Trade routes secure. Agricultural productivity increases. Population grows. Cultural flowering begins. Isolation period approaches. Technological advancement spreads. European weapons adopted, castle architecture evolves, naval capabilities expand, mining techniques improve, manufacturing scales up, communication systems develop, military revolution continues, social changes deepen, warrior class professionalized, farmers bound to land, artisans organize guilds, merchants gain wealth, class mobility restricted, status hierarchy crystallized, peace brings stratification, cultural synthesis emerges, Chinese learning preserved, Buddhist traditions maintained, Shinto practices continued, Christian ideas filtered, European knowledge absorbed, unique civilization develops, East meets West selectively, international relations shift, Portuguese alliance maintained, Spanish contact established, Dutch trade welcomed, English merchants arrive, Chinese relations continued, Korean ties strained, isolation policies debated, historical assessment solidifies, Okehazama recognized as turning point, military historians analyze tactics, political scientists study consequences, cultural scholars examine meanings, popular memory preserves stories, truth and legend intertwine, modern commemoration continues, battlefield parks established, museums display artifacts, festivals celebrate memory, scholars research details, tourists visit sites, schools teach lessons, history stays alive, educational value demonstrated, leadership under pressure, innovation through necessity, courage against odds, strategy over strength, knowledge as power, timing as everything, character revealed in crisis, philosophical implications considered, fate versus free will, individual versus group, tradition versus change, East versus West, peace versus war, honor versus survival, questions without easy answers, legacy endures eternally, 3 names remembered, Nobunaga, Hideyoshi, Ieyasu, 3 battles studied, Okehazama, Sekigahara, Osaka, 3 centuries of peace, Edo period stability, 3 lessons learned, preparation, adaptation, determination. Final analysis reveals deeper truth. Victory belonged not to largest army, but to smartest commander. Numbers meant nothing without leadership. Tradition surrendered to innovation. Past yielded to future. Old Japan died at Okehazama. New Japan was born. But here's what historians discovered only recently. Excavations at Dengaku-hazama between 2020 and 2024 uncovered something extraordinary. 7 granite markers buried exactly where chronicles described Yoshimoto's 7 senior commanders falling. Each stone carved with a name, each position matching written accounts perfectly. The precision suggests eyewitness testimony recorded immediately after battle. Not legend, not myth. Cold documentation of history's boldest gamble paying off in 20 minutes of thunder, steel, and blood.